live coverage of the AWS Summit here in Paris. I'm Am Grabelli, developer advocate for AWS Game Day, joined, as always,
Steve Roberts, developer advocate for .NET and PowerShell.
And we've got a special guest down there, Arnaud.
We do.
Please.
Yeah, my name is Arnaud Coulon. I'm a software technical product manager for AWS Service Catalog. And yeah, we just released the Terraform support that we're going to talk about today, and I'm super excited.
Yeah.
To talk to. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and not just released. I mean, it was like late last night. You were
yeah, exactly.
You were up
so,
late.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired, but I'm really excited. So
literally freshly baked.
We really appreciate you coming out still and coming and talking to us all here.
Of course.
As you're watching, if you have questions, obviously we've got chat pulled up, so please get those questions to us. But before we jump into the release, I thought it would be great to talk a little bit about Service Catalog. Steve and I both have experience as engineers in various different companies. Depending on the size of your company, depending on all kinds of things, launching some infrastructure to go do some dev work, to do some testing, can be difficult. Right?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Where does Service Catalog fit in?
So yeah, if you think about Service Catalog, really what you can do is create, govern, and manage a catalog of infrastructure as code templates. And these templates can include really everything from a single simple S3 bucket, servers, databases, to complete multi-tier applications. And with Service Catalog, you can group and organize those templates, manage the access, and control who can access what in your organization. You can create different versions of a template and control what is configured by each version. You can categorize the templates with tags. And you can also ensure that people who will provision the templates will do it with a least privilege access, which is a really secure way of doing deployment in AWS and also an AWS best practice. And basically, once you have done that, your catalog of infrastructure as code templates is governed the way you want. All your templates are compliant with your internal rules and approved for use on AWS. And then you can start sharing those templates with your teams in AWS in all your accounts. And in your teams, like the users, such as the engineers, the database administrators, the data scientists, simply they see the list of templates that they have access to and the versions. And in a single action, they can just deploy what they have and start doing their job, basically.
Right.
And this is really like the value of Service Catalog, like providing self-service provisioning of those templates to your teams.
I'm sure security teams love you all.
I think so.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, because I mean that's the mantra of security, right? Trust but verify.
Yeah, exactly.
Number one. Maybe even trust no one. It could be security. So that's the whole point, though, is you've got these engineers out there, putting best practices into the infrastructure may not be what they're focused on business logic, they're focused on writing code, especially data scientists like you mentioned, right? And so this really speeds up them focusing on their areas.
Exactly. I mean, they arrive in the morning, they see the list of products, of templates that they have access to, and they can just jumpstart and doing their job, right?
I love
they don't want to understand how everything is working, and they don't want to deal with the infrastructure that is behind, right?
Cool. I cut you off, Steve.
No,
Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, listening to you talk, it sounds very much like, in a nutshell, that this is applying governance to IAC templates.
Exactly.
In a sense, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously IAC, we have various ways of doing that,
Cloud
right?
formation
But it's just spreading, as it gets more and more popular. But now it's like, okay, we need to put some governance on this, so we get the best practices and we don't just go wild.
Yeah. And yeah, if you think about it, like the Service Catalog support for Terraform open source that we've just released is really just a way for customers to who use Terraform open source to benefit from most of Service Catalog features.
Right.
Right. So until today, you could only use Service Catalog with CloudFormation. And with this launch, you can use Service Catalog now with your Terraform open source configuration files.
Yes, very impactful, very popular IAC tool with Terraform. So that makes a lot of sense why you're supporting it.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, we wanted really our customers to choose the infrastructure as code technology that best suits their different use cases and also their internal expertise.
Yes.
And with this launch, they can do that. They can choose CloudFormation, Terraform, or also use both if
nice.
they want.
Together.
You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've got a demo that you want to get to.
Yeah. So before we go to the demo, I'd like to share some slides to go a little bit into the details of how it works.
Sure.
So we can start with that. So let me go back a little bit on the design of the feature and show you how it works in more details.
Okay.
So as mentioned before, we released Terraform. I didn't say that before. So to get started, you really have to set up a Terraform open source engine and make sure it works with your service catalog.
Okay.
And to help customers with that, we released yesterday, an open source project that you can find on GitHub that will basically install all the code and infrastructure required for the Terraform engine to work with Service Catalog. And this is like in the slide, the Terraform open source reference engine that I'm showing now.
Okay.
So it will install like the infrastructure like we see in SQSQ, some Lambdas, the Terraform server. Everything is going to be like installed and set up in a couple of minutes. And it's just a one-time setup, right?
Nice.
And once you have that, basically you are ready to go, right, to use Service Catalog with your Terraform open source configuration. So on the Service Catalog side, the new feature introduces a new product type in Service Catalog called Terraform Open Source, as you can see in the little box there, that you can use really to catalog, govern, share, and provision your Terraform configuration. And you can think of this new product type really as an interface that will establish a connection between Service Catalog and your Terraform engine. And technically speaking, in the Terraform open source type, you will see that it contains an SQSQ that exists in your Terraform engine, and that is used by Service Catalog to send the provisioning payload from Service Catalog to your engine. So now let's go quickly through the end-to-end workflow.
Okay.
So as I mentioned before, you can use the new type in Service Catalog to create a Service Catalog product based on a Terraform open source configuration. Boom. And now that we have different types of products in Service Catalog, we need to manage them differently, right? So for that, we have built a generic provisioning workflow under the hood that will basically dispatch the provisioning payload based on the different type of product. So if I provision a CloudFormation product, the generic provisioning workflow will call the CloudFormation engine, as we do today. But if I provision a Terraform product, the generic provisioning engine will call your Terraform engine using the SQSQ I've just talked about. Okay, so this is really like the high-level design of the solution.
I like that as well, because we spoke about, some of the people using this, they don't care about how it's being done, right? They just want to choose the template.
Yeah.
Make it so, right?
to
coin a phrase, right?
Make it so,
right?
Picard over here.
I don't want to care if it's a Terraform one or a CloudFormation one or whatever. Just provision it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So last slide before I jump into the demo, promise, this is the last one. I'm going to show you how to a provision operation work for a Terraform product. I think it's important before I jump to the demo. And in our case, I'm going to take just a simple S3 bucket. So as you can see, we have a Terraform engine account at the bottom. This is the central account that contains the Terraform engine and all the code and infrastructure required to do the provisioning. Okay. So we have that SQS intake queue, the front-end Lambda, the step function that will orchestrate all the Lambdas corresponding to the different provisioning operation. And you have a provisioning account. This is the local account where a user is going to do the provisioning of the Terraform product, right? And as you can see in this account, you have a launch role. And we'll see later that this launch role will be used by the Terraform engine to perform the provisioning and deploy the S3 bucket, and also by Service Catalog to create resource group and do the tagging. So let's get started. So let's say an end user starts the provisioning of the Terraform product. Service Catalog send the provisioning payload to the Terraform engine intake queue. There is a queue reader Lambda that's going to start the provisioning workflow. We have a SSM run command that's going to assume the role in the provisioning account. And then the SSM run command will run the Terraform plan and apply on the Terraform server. And then the Terraform server will provision the Terraform product resources in the provisioning account. And now the job is done, the resource has been deployed, right? But we need a way to like communicate back with Service Catalog to like surface everything in Service Catalog. So the engine workflow sends the provisioning results back to Service Catalog. Service Catalog assumes that role again and create a resource group, add the S3 bucket in the resource group, and apply the tags. And then the resource group applies the tags on the downstream services that have been created. So in our case, the S3 bucket. So this is really like the end-to-end, step-by-step way of how a provisioning operation is working with that new feature and in that design. All right, so now I think like I can switch to the demo if you guys want.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's go.
We like demos on AWS. I know.
Yeah.
Let's go. Allons-y.
Allons-y. All right. OK, so in this demo, we're going to use two accounts, right?
OK.
So I'm going to have an admin account over there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have my data science account. So basically, like, what I want to do is to reproduce like what customers do in real life. So I'm going to be the Service Catalog admin. I'm going to create my catalog. In our case, I'm going to just create one Terraform product based on the Terraform open source configuration. That's going to be an S3. And I'm going to do some governance on top of it. And then I'm going to share that product to the end user, to the data scientist team. And in the data science account, I'm going to just provision and deploy that S3 bucket, right? So that we can see like the end-to-end customer experience.
So pretty much exactly what we just saw in that slide. Going through
yeah. Obviously, like in real life, customers do that at scale with thousands and thousands, hundreds of accounts. But for the demo, we're going to do like a simple example. So obviously, like I've previously installed the Terraform reference engine. So my central account, my admin account, is already configured with the Terraform open source engine up and running. And we can see here that we have a EC2 running with my Terraform engine, and that I have an auto-scaling group here associated with that. In terms of computing, we used EC2 because we think that it's a well-known technology that customers can really, configure and adapt to their needs if they want. We have the SQS queues, the different SQS queues for the communication between Service Catalog and the Terraform engine. We have different Lambda functions that are going to do the provisioning operations. And we have step functions, state machine, that are going to orchestrate those operations, right? Okay. So let me go to Service Catalog as the admin and start creating a Terraform product based on the Terraform open source configuration. So as we can see, like before, we just had CloudFormation, and now we have a new option, which is Terraform open source. And I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to enter a on-air Terraform product. Some description. I'm going to put my name as the owner.
That's my kind of description.
Yeah, that's a kind of like really weak description, but I'm going to create the product based on a Terraform configuration that exists in one of my S3 buckets. So I'm going to go to the S3 bucket and have a bucket here.
Arno, we had a question from chat. They're curious, Robert Tables is curious if you could sub in Fargate for the EC2 auto-scaling group.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Actually, this is something we take into account when we did the design. As I said, like we started with EC2 because it's a well-known technology that customer can adapt really well. But we're going to work with customer. We're going to hear like the feedback. And we could definitely like build another Terraform reference engine based on this kind of compute in the future.
OK, cool.
So I just copied like the S3 bucket URL, and I'm going to use that URL here to create my Terraform product. It's a V1, no description, and I'm going to just create the product, right? OK, the product has been created successfully. So now I have created a Service Catalog product based on my Terraform open source configuration. And what I want to do now is to start like governing that product. And so I'm going to select the product, and I'm going to add the product to the portfolio.
So now the downstream consumers will be able to see it, right?
Yeah, with a little of little things that I need to do, but yeah, that's exactly that. So I'm going to take that product, and something interesting is to see here is that for Terraform product, as you have seen like in the previous slides, we need to link the product to a launch role, right? And in Service Catalog, we use the launch constraints to do that. So for the Terraform product, I really need to have a launch constraint, and it's explained there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you the launch constraint really quick. So this is like the launch role that lies in the data scientist account. And if I look at that launch role, I look at the permission, we can see that, OK, in that launch role, I can create the S3 bucket, I can create the resource group, I can tag, right? And like that launch role can be used by Service Catalog, again, to create the resource group and the tagging, and can be used as well by the engine, right? Like the account of the engine. This is really important. And this is how we're going to do the provisioning in the context of the data scientist account. So I go back to my Service Catalog. Oh, just copy paste that. OK. All right. And I'm going to just create a launch constraint based on that role. Right. And I'm going to add the product to the portfolio and create the constraint at the same time. OK? So now we have a portfolio that is well governed. I have my mechanism to do least privilege access during provisioning. I previously created like the access and the sharing. So you know, I've already like created the sharing from the admin account to the
downstream accounts.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I also added like some tags to that product. And so if I log into as a data scientist, basically, and I refresh here, I see my product, right? Yep. So now it's the morning for me. I arrive, OK, so I have a new product to create like S3 buckets. This is cool. I'm going to do that. And so I'm launching the product. So here, like really, the experience is the exact same experience that we are proposing for CloudFormation. Right. So for the user, like it's completely agnostic. They don't know. I mean, they just know because there is a type, but it's really like the same experience, right? Really simple. OK.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to create my buckets. I can see that I have the tags that I have applied before, and I can start launching the product, right?
Yep.
So while it's launching, while it's like deploying here, I'm going to show you what's going on in the engine on the state machine. This is a good way, by the way, for administrators if they want to monitor what's going on in their engine. If it comes at some point. It should.
There it
is.
There we are.
There we go. All right. So, oh, shoot. Don't see anything.
Let's go. There we go. This is one of my favorite views in the console.
Yeah,
I love watching these things run.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, like it's super tiny. I don't know why. But you can
because
see like
you're live, Arno. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Will it zoom in with the mouse scroll?
Yeah.
It might not.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, no. All right, I don't know. But you can see like
We can see
everything
the
is going.
Yes.
Like if you're an administrator, you can definitely go there, look what's going on. It's also useful for debugging, you know.
Yep.
And hopefully the live demo is gonna work. So like the product has been deployed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there
And
we
if
are.
I go back to the data scientist account, I can see that it's a success. It has been deployed. I have my S3 there. I have like the resource that has been created. I can see all the tags that have been applied, like the Service Catalog system tags plus my department 100. And I can link to the S3 bucket and see that the bucket is there. And here we go.
There you go.
Nice.
Wow.
This was the demo.
There you go.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's amazing, Arno. I mean, I can't understate, like, you know, in the past, what you would have to do, and you couldn't even really do this fully, was you'd have to have an IAM role in the account that had the right permissions. You would have to have somebody go install Terraform and run a Terraform, resource that somebody's passing around, and maybe, you know, it's just, this is so much simpler.
Yeah.
And
there is
so much control.
There was no way to provide self-service for Terraform open source configuration easily and quickly.
Right.
And this is what we are providing to customers today.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is amazing, Arno. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
on
for
the
having me.
show. Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, we've got to run.
Time to wrap.
But are we going right into the outro?
We're going right into the outro.
Okay.
We are wrapping
All right.
with a W.
You're gonna wrap up with us, Arno. You're gonna
Perfect.
stay here
I love
with
it.
us.
I love it.
Perfect. So we've got a bit of a redemption story, don't we,
We
Steve?
do. I
Yeah.
am redeemed.
So just to tie things up with a pretty bow,
If you've been with us all day,
if you've been with us all day, I built a special, very special game day quest for Steve to teach him French.
I think you should just say to
I can
teach me
help.
a lesson, actually. But
Well,
yeah.
that too. Steve learned many lessons today, not just French. He also learned you never should trust.
Don't trust AM.
Well, never trust me. Also, yeah, absolutely. As the X-Files say, trust no one. Steve, I will remind you of that till the day I die.
Trust and verify. Yes.
No, trust no one. Period. Don't ever trust anyone. And I'm just kidding. But you don't always trust the input that's coming in.
No, you do not.
So-
Even when you're writing a temporary Lambda function live on air,
That's right.
don't trust what you're being handed
That's
because
right.
it may not be valid.
Yes, that's right. So the architecture was Steve needed to create an endpoint, an HTTP endpoint, to which I could send him a post request, which in the body contained a phrase in French that he needed to translate. Now, I wanted Steve to do this manually so that he could go learn French. And these were incredibly important
Which was what
phrases.
we did. Which is what we did in the opening intro,
Yes, we
right?
did this
so
in
we
the
did
opening.
That there, yes. Then we automated it because I'm
Phrases
lazy.
like "Où est le spectacle de punk rock?" Very important phrase in France to go find out where the punk rock shows.
Okay.
Steve, where are they?
I don't know.
You don't know because you don't know how to ask.
I don't know because I automated it.
Yeah, and so then we moved to automation, and Steve was getting an error when trying to serialize the JSON.
Deserialized.
Deserialized.
Well, we thought it was the serialization phase.
We did, but it was actually deserializing. My service, oops, was sending the wrong
Bad JSON.
Yeah, it wasn't real JSON, was
Yeah,
it?
no, it was not.
So you should have learned your lesson and not automated
I've
it.
learned my lesson. Never to trust any input that you give me in future.
That's right, which is real. In reality, you may be working with webhook services from third-party places that don't send you good data. You never know. You should build in.
But basically, we've now got it working, and let me just check. What is my current score? I'm curious. What is?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, 409, 20. Oh, there's a new one. 429,840 points.
Wow.
It's just running away in the background while we're talking.
120,000 points.
If that's not worth first place, I don't know
plus
what
some
is.
change.
Yeah, but
That's amazing.
it's been a lot of fun doing that game day.
You've translated all the phrases except actually you haven't.
There is one that is wrong, isn't there?
Again, you should never trust,
Never trust.
in
Yeah.
a game day
Yeah.
because game day is all about chaos. Chaos is going to come at you.
Yep.
So there was a phrase that you couldn't translate.
There was, yes.
Yeah.
Something to do with, was it ordering the whole cake?
I ordered the whole cake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arno, could you translate for us? I ordered the whole cake.
J'ai commandé le gâteau entier.
Perfect. Wonderful.
That's not what's written there.
No, I know. It's close.
It's close. Not quite.
I don't know what's written there, but
Tout
is it.
le gâteau is what.
tout le gâteau, okay.
Yeah, what
That's another way.
Translate gave
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I ordered the whole cake. All the cake is tout le gâteau.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But so it didn't translate correctly. So Steve started losing points for that.
Which is cool, right? Because when you actually look at the scoring events, I mean, my screen is not up on the screen right now, but you can see, actually, you can see how it's solved most of them.
It did.
But now it's stuck on one or two that it can't translate.
Right. So if you
Right.
were to continue playing, you
I would lose all those points.
Well, you might want to start finding phrases as you couldn't translate them,
Yep.
and maybe add in a piece of architecture to, like, these are bad phrases. Skip them
Right.
if I find them,
Yeah.
right? So something like Dynamo could do that, right?
You could keep track of it that way, yeah.
Well, you could choose how you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
We could have spun up Document DB with those
We could.
Elastic
Yes.
clusters that we
Yes, we
talked
could.
about
Yeah.
earlier today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Steve, I will say Steve solved my
I am redeemed.
French.
I spotted
puzzle.
I spotted your bad Jason in the end.
You did. You got it. So
Oh, but we've had a lot of fun doing that today.
We
And
did.
we've had a lot of fun with our guests today.
we did.
It's been great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Arnaud, I'll ask you. You've been around the AWS Summit all day. We've been primarily at this desk.
Yeah.
Any standouts? Any highlights from you as an attendee?
Yeah, I've just like spent a little bit of time, so not all day, but there was like the Deep Racer stand over there that was pretty cool.
Yes.
Also, like there is a Ferrari
The
simulator.
Formula One.
Yeah, this one is great as well.
Yeah.
Didn't play with it, but I saw people like they had a lot of fun. So
Very nice. Yeah, there's a Formula One game day going on too, I believe,
Yeah.
somewhere. And I think Riot Games had a game day yesterday.
Okay.
So a lot of cool game days happening here too. I've always got to bring it back to game day, you know me.
Yeah.
But, so Ferrari simulator. Did you take?
no,
take
I
part
didn't.
in that?
I didn't test it. I just saw people do it.
Okay.
It seems like kind of hard, but
Yeah. we were walking down the Champs-Élysées maybe 2 days ago, and we saw a bunch of Ferraris out there. Which
yeah, this is the place to see this
that's
kind of car.
pretty unique, right? You don't see Ferraris on Champs-Élysées very often. Is that? Yeah. No, probably all the time. Well, yes. So it has been a really fun time, really exciting time. We've talked to a lot of really smart people, learned about a lot of really cool things. Very exciting launch with the Terraform.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Tired, but
sleep now,
super,
huh?
super excited.
Yes.
I think it's going to be really great for our customers, so we are looking forward to hear back from them now.
Yes. Oh, I gotta say, Robert Tables again, asking about Deep Racer. Did you notice the like arcade type machines? Do they have those? at
I
this
don't
one?
know.
I don't
No.
know. Okay, they had that at reInvent. Robert says. I'll have to go check.
Yeah.
I'll look.
Do that.
Yeah. So Steve, what's
Oh.
your takeaway?
Oh, you can't ask me that when there's a guest on stage next to me. Oh, that's not fair.
I didn't say what was your favorite part. I just said what's your takeaway. What did you enjoy? You could list multiple things.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I enjoyed everything. No, that would be a comment. Do you know what? I've enjoyed doing that game day today. That was fun. Digging into that and just generally chit-chatting around that. The Connect
Oh
segment, the design your own
Amazon Connect
agent
was
workflow.
really
That was good.
step-by-step
Obviously,
guides.
Arnaud's
Terraform.
step functions thing, which gets my attention
The
every time there's
Terraform
a
is
step
amazing.
function being shown.
That's
Yeah,
so
great.
difficult prior to this launch.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, then don't forget the Surge clusters, Elastic clusters.
OpenSearch.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Document DB.
Was it Document
Elastic.
DB or Search?
Yes.
Document DB. That was it. With
OpenSearch was we were talking security analytics.
oh,
with
that was it.
OpenSearch.
Yes. Yeah. The Document DB one with the clusters resizing. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we leave, if this is your first time ever tuning in to AWS On Air, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Bienvenue. We loved having you here. We cover events like this across the world. I know we'll be covering some more events coming up soon, like the London Summit. We'll be at Reinforce, always at reInvent as well, so look forward to that throughout the year. We do shows.
We do shows.
We have
Yeah.
a show every Friday talking about
Yep.
launches that
Midday
we've
Pacific.
Yes, that we've done. So tune into that if you're interested in more content like what we covered today throughout the summit. It's very launch focused and product and feature focused.
Yep.
But we've got other shows too.
Yeah, we have our custom shows. Obviously, there's our Code Corner show,
Code
which
Corner.
we've kind of been doing today.
Yeah, we did.
Right,
We
to an
did like
extent.
an
Bits of it.
amalgamation of Code Corner and Step Up Your Game Day.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
A fusion.
A fusion.
Fusion,
A fusion.
yes.
So we've got those two shows, Code Corner, where we teach you how to code. We've got Step Up Your Game Day, where we play through game day content. We've got the Startups
Startups.
show with Jillian,
Yeah.
where we talk about all things technology that are relevant to startups. We have security lockdown with Kyle.
Kyle's show, yeah.
Yeah, we've got, don't forget Art
Art's
on
Under the Hood. Yeah.
which is all about compute. I think we got all the shows there. That could be them all.
We've probably upset somebody by missing one.
That's
but more
okay.
importantly, where can people go to find out about these shows and know when to watch?
Follow us on all of these channels. On AWS On Air, if you're watching on Twitch right now, you're twitch.tv/AWS On Air. If you're on LinkedIn, it's just the main Amazon Web Services LinkedIn group. And of course, Twitter, twitter.com/AWS On Air. You can follow all of those accounts, or any of them, your choice, whatever combination works for you.
I suggest all of them.
All of them, I agree too.
Yeah.
But our time
It's come to a close.
has come to a close. J'ai fini.
Yeah, whatever.
He still hasn't learned any French, Arnaud.
I told you,
None.
human language is in one ear and straight out the other. I told you.
Wow.
2 days is not enough.
No, you're right.
No.
You're right. I thought immersion. Immersion might be. No. I'm gonna have to load up some more phrases in the game day quest, and I'm gonna kill your automation again.
Okay, all right. You kill my automation.
Thank you so much for joining us on behalf of AWS On Air. Tune in for more. And catch us at our next event or at one of our shows. And we can't wait to see you there.